Hey everyone, my name is Danilo Petrovic.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Torebko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Here we are for another podcast, and we're going to wrap up some of that stuff that was happening over the past week. And obviously, the biggest thing on the agenda is that man, Rafael Nadal, undefeated in 2022. It has to be said, 15-0. And he's not only won the Australian Open, he has now gone and won in Acapulco and defeated Daniil Medvedev for a second time, and also now defeated Cam Norrie in straight sets, as I predicted. JG, how are you doing? You a bit psyched after that big win for Rafa?
Oh, mate, massively. He's just started the year so well. Of course, his best ever start to a season. It's the perfect start. 15 matches, 15 wins, 3 titles, a Grand Slam in there as well. He's playing good tennis. There's no signs of real injury with the foot. He's smiling. And listen, as a Rafa fan, you can't have much more than that. They're not calling it an Acapulco win, Ben. Anyway, it's called the Rafa Polco. I thought I should correct you on that.
I like it.
It's now the Rafa Polco. He's won here a few times to claim his fourth time. So he beat Norrie 6-4, 6-4 to claim his fourth Alberto Telso crown and his 91st career ATP singles title. I thought there was a funny moment where he was asked by the sort of interviewer, talking about, was it 91, 92? And Rafa was himself didn't know how many titles he'd won. So he was asking the interviewer, how many is it now? Is it 90, 92, 91? And they had to verify how many titles he's actually won. So it must be great when you get into that level where you're winning so many, you're losing track. And that's what Rafa's certainly doing.
Can you? I mean, come on. I mean, how are you going to remember?
You certainly wouldn't remember.
No, I wouldn't. I would
God
definitely.
forbid you could actually was good at tennis, you'd have no clue.
Hey, what are you trying to say? I remember I played you once, lost once. See, I've got a good memory.
If that went over 3 or 4 times, you'd start getting a bit cloudy.
I would. No, I tell you what I did. Even during the matches, if there's no one taking the score, it gets a little bit hairy, I have to say. So I don't blame him. If you've got to 90 victories or around that, and when we were even saying about his hard court form, what was it, 75 or something, that just over 50% of the victories. So it was about like 75 to 74.
73, 72 or something.
Something like that.
75, 74. That's right, yeah.
It was very, very close. But imagine trying to keep track of that as well. All of these statistics are ridiculous for Rafa. And he even said, I don't even like the name, the King of Clay. I'm the 4th in the all-time listings of most hardcourt wins on tour. So I don't think you can call him King of Clay. Well, you can, but you've got to say, pretty high up there on hardcourts as well, isn't he? He's pretty good. He's not bad.
I mean, he's great. And someone who loves him as much as I do, certainly, is Mei Jiang in the live chat, one of our members as well. I just want to give a shout out to you. I can see you there saying hello to everyone. Of course, you're so popular. You know everyone in the live chat, and you've been supporting us a lot recently. So I want to give you a shout out. We appreciate the donation off the stream and appreciate you buying some of the latest merch. But buying a Rafa number, I believe. If anyone wants to buy the latest Rafa t-shirt, Ben's going to give you a little modeling demo right now. Give us a 12, Ben. You can't see with the green screen, but that is a Rafa sort of 21 with the red and the white, red and the black. You can check it out in the store. Link is below. And hopefully you enjoy it as much as May does.
That's it. Look at that. I'm modeling it today. I picked it up in your size just in case I'm going to have to hand it over at some point. You might demand it from me at some point. Who knows? I can see me wearing it and you just grabbing it off me at some point and saying, I'm not having that. So I'm
going to get my own one. I don't need to borrow yours.
I don't know, mate. I got a feeling that you might just try and make me remove it at some point. So just put it on if you didn't have a Rafa item near you. But there's one other thing I just want to say before we go any further. Obviously, we had the semi-final against Medvedev. We had the final. That was against Norrie. I had John Silk join me. He joined me from the Rafael Nadal Academy. And he joined me That was for the semi-final against Medvedev, and it was really nice to have John there. We've been speaking to John, obviously, and he's been sending us a few nice little bits and pieces and a few pictures. But he actually dropped me a little message earlier on today, and I don't know, you're probably not aware of this one, but I said I'd pop it out there live on the podcast for everybody, and you can have a look at what's going on over there. Well, it's in Spain, isn't it? And John loving it. Let's see what John has to say.
Call yourself a fan, JG. Call yourself a Rafa fan. I was up at 5 a.m. this morning, watching Rafa in an ATP 500, before heading to the Roland Garros Cafe. I then headed to his favourite clay courts to practice on here at the Rafael Nadal Academy, before having lunch, and then in the afternoon practicing on the Rafa Nadal here centre court, where he would normally be practicing himself. Anyway, I'm about to go and have some talks with Uncle Tony, maybe to join the team. Cheers.
There's John Silk at the Rafael Nadal Academy.
He's firing shots at me there from the academy. Listen, he needs to drink more than that beer to have a chance against anyone there, especially me, because I think I'd wipe the floor with him. I'm loving it, John. Good fighting talk. Great that you're having a good time. And I am a big Rafa fan. As I've said a few times on the podcast, I had some family commitments I had to attend to this weekend. It wasn't a case that I couldn't stay up or I didn't want to watch it. I had to put my family first in this situation. And unfortunately, Rafa just comes a little bit behind my family at the moment.
I didn't, mate. You don't have to apologize for doing having family functions and stuff. It's all in good jest. Like John's just having a laugh. And
no, it's not John. It's not so much John. I've been getting a lot of messages.
Oh yeah,
like
mate.
individual
Don't listen
messages.
to these people.
They're gunning
mate.
for me. Where's JG? He's not a real
mate,
Rafa fan. He's this. He's that.
Mate, don't listen to it. Everybody knows how big a Rafa fan you are. Everybody likes to jump on the bandwagon. I've seen a lot of people jump into your defense as well. So there's no doubt of how much a bigger Rafa fan you are. I just thought it was funny that John made this video going through all of his list of how big a Rafa fan he is, just followed up with a little sip of beer and him claiming to go and meet Tony Nadal.
He's very good with words. I like the way he did that. So fair play to John.
I know. So anyway, I just thought I'd play that anyway, just at the top of the hour, just to get out of the way. I know you hadn't seen it, and I just thought you'd find it pretty amusing. It made me chuckle earlier when he sent it to me.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. Let's move on through the tweets.
Yeah, right. Let's move on to the next one.
So here we have. This is what I thought was quite interesting. You've got Rafael Nadal collects his 1,043rd ATP Tour winning match.
What?
Exceeded Novak Djokovic in the best winning percentage in the Open era.
Is that real?
Go down. So he's 1,043 matches.
What?
In the ATP Tour? Yeah, because we saw in Paris, Ben. It was
1,000. It's just like
his 1,000th match.
I've got to
Djokovic is going to get to his 1,000 this year as well. As you can see, he's 9 away.
I've got to give this like a reaction of just like any normal person who doesn't know anything about tennis. 1,000 is crazy. Remember when we saw that? Now he's up to 1,040. When is it going to end? It's just so mad. I mean, it's that many wins. It's not even the amount of matches either. If it said 1,000 matches, I'd be like, what? 1,043 wins, mate. It's just ridiculous.
To put it into perspective, Ben, as 12 Travel 21 saying, Roger and Jimmy have over 1,200 wins.
It is beyond belief. I mean,
I'm hoping Rafa can overtake Federer. That's something I would like to see.
Might be able to.
Forget this whole GOAT debate. We're not having one of them.
No.
Just talking about some statistics. We'll be able to judge them all when they're retired. For me, I would love to say that Rafael Nadal has more wins than Federer.
You love that win percentage.
That would be nice. And the win percentage is a big thing for me. And as you can see now, he's only just, with Djokovic losing, Rafa winning, he's just eclipsed Novak Djokovic there of a 0.10%.
Yeah.
So a tenth of a percent is higher than Djokovic on the winning percentages on the ATP Tour.
I mean,
It's
in
fractions.
this debate, though, every little counts, and I'm sure all the Rafa fans out there are really loving the fact that he's at the top of the pile on that win percentage. That's for sure.
Well, you got Edgar saying, "Why didn't JG post this 3 months ago?" Well, it's a good question, Edgar, because I was looking at it 3 months ago, but I didn't choose to post it, and that's down to Ben. Ben, as the Djokovic fan, should be posting that. He didn't. I've taken my opportunity with both hands.
Well, at the end of the day, Rafael Nadal wasn't on the tour 3 months ago, was he? He was out. I think it's only fair to do it whilst both players are actually playing. I think that's fair. That's a fair comment. I don't think you can take that away. Whilst they're both playing in tournaments, Djokovic could have got further in his tournament. He lost to Vesely. I'm not going to hold that against him because Vesely played amazing, deserved to be in that final, but Rafa, he just beat who was in front of him, as he always does.
Let's have a look down this list as well, what other players there is. So you've got Bjorn Borg, 3rd, Federer, 4th, Jimmy Connors, they're 5th, McEnroe, Lendl, Laver, Sampras, Murray, Becker.
Murray doing very well to be there.
Murray's high. He is high, 77.16. And the reason I say this is high is because, let's be honest, pre-injury, you'd think he'd been closer to the 80s.
And the
because
amount of
right now he's very hit and miss. Like there's a lot of losses. I feel like he wins one, loses one, wins one, loses one at the moment. So that percentage is always coming down.
Whoa.
And it's a shame because pre sort of the hip problems he was having, he would have been right up there. But Andy Murray is a special player, man. There's a reason people call it the Big Four.
Well, look at who he's next to. He's next to somebody who's got 17 Grand Slams. He's nearly on the same as Sampras. Like that's the level that Murray was playing at really throughout his career. And you got to think he's mixed in with people with much more Grand Slams than what he had, like above him, like Sampras and people like that. Like
the only reason that is because of the generation he played in. He played in a tougher era, you could say, with them 3 at the top, just dominating. You've got 12 Travel 21 saying Murray's catching up Rafa for losses. Only needs 9 more to level Rafa. That's sad.
Don't say
it's sad. Djokovic, I'm going to tell you now, Ben. It's going to happen. I'm telling you now. Murray's going to level up with Rafa for losses.
Retire now. Make sure you get out while you can. Quit while you're ahead.
Yeah, but let's move on.
Moving on from that one. Yes. Well, this is a big one, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, 15 wins in 2022. No defeats. 3 finals. 3 titles. 1 Grand Slam. And the 91st title in Acapulco at 35 years old. And something that I actually alluded to on the final, actually, which was quite interesting, that the last 10 finals before this one that he just played, which now we can make it the last 11 finals he's played and he has won.
Okay. And guess who said that? Gene. No other than him. Rafa's now won 11 finals in a row. Yeah. That's insane.
It's
pretty incredible. And I'm not surprised. When you look at Rafa, he's not just a good player. Djokovic has said it many times. The guy's a fighter. He's got that fighting instinct better than any other player on tour. And you'd think in a situation which is a final, which can be a bit of a nervous occasion, often I always would say a final sort of, if you've got a better player, sort of 80-20, if it's a final, it then becomes sort of a 60-40. It's always closer because you've got that final nerves. Anything can happen. But with Rafael Nadal, it doesn't seem to be the case. I feel whoever he's playing against, if it's a final, you kind of fancy him. And I think that was typified at the start of the year. Australian Open,
I agree.
2 sets down to Daniil Medvedev, one of the best players in the world, currently the world #1. And it wasn't looking great for him. But in a final, you just can't ever write him off. And I've learned that the hard way because I went against him.
You're never
going to people now are asking, Ben, was doing it with Djokovic the other year when he started the year so strong. I think what was the first time he lost, Djokovic? Was it the US Open when he got defaulted? Did he go all that way?
Yeah. Last year?
There was a time when he went on that unbeaten run. Do you remember he won like 20 matches, 25? I forget the amount of number now.
I can't remember who.
Do you remember? And we did a podcast. Is Rafa going to go the whole season unbeaten? Is Djokovic going to go the whole season unbeaten?
I remember it. I can't remember who he lost to though. Eventually, I remember it was a very long. It was about 28, wasn't it? To nearly 30 matches. Was it unbeaten?
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. My question to you now is: well, Gene's posing it. When's Rafa going to lose a match?
Well,
now almost in March. When's it going to happen?
It depends which tournaments he enters, and that's why I said to you on one of the last podcasts, I reckon he has to be very selective on the tournaments he enters. I don't think he should go for Madrid. I think that's just for a big serve-in. It's a fast court. Go to Monte Carlo. Go to Rome. They're where you really excel. And then go to Roland Garros. And then I think that's where he's going to pick up. Like, you can't judge last year's Monte Carlo on actual Rafa standards. That's my personal opinion. I think Rafa last year at Monte Carlo, he had some back issues or something, didn't he? There was the serve was all over the place. It was terrible. It was double fault after double fault. He lost to Rublev. It was shocking. And he even admitted it. That's not how he would have ever wanted to turn up and play in Monte Carlo. I think if he turns up again and he plays like he's playing now, I mean, who's going to stand in his way? Maybe only people like a Novak Djokovic have the minerals to go up against him right now. Maybe Tsitsipas, he's the reigning champ. He may have something to say, but he's got to really buck up his ideas. And I hope that he's better on the clay than he has been on the hard recently. He hasn't been impressing me over the last few weeks.
Nice. And yeah, that was 2011 Djokovic, 46-0 he went. That wasn't the one I'm talking about, but there was another one he did. No, it's 41, sorry. 41 outrageous. Pretty mad.
That is.
I mean, Nadal's still got a long way to go to be able to replicate that. You'd think he's going to be playing Indian Wells coming up next. And yeah, well, I mean, that's sort of the last, I don't know, that could potentially be his last event he plays of the sort of hard court calendar until later on in the year. So he's then going to be going into the clay courts. I would love for him to win Indian Wells, going to the clay courts unbeaten. That's something we've never seen before.
It would be mad if he manages to get through Indian Wells.
I genuinely think if that is to happen, we're going to be in for one of the most special seasons ever. And I think for Rafa fans, they're going to be ecstatic.
Yeah, they are. I'm just double checking. You were totally right. The first loss of that year in 2020 was that default against Colombia.
Yeah, I remember. How can you forget then? We was doing it.
I remember because there was like little bits in between. Obviously, he had the Adria Tour and all of that. I know he did lose during the Adria Tour to I think it was Krajinovic or something like that. No, yeah, exactly. But just one of those things. It was such a spaced out, weird year where there was a lot of stuff going on. My memory is not the best, as you all know. I have to always check. I have to fact check everything. Otherwise, I get things wrong. But anyway, let's move on to the next tweet. See what we got.
May here saying, I love Rafa, but no way he will get to the clay season unbeaten. 12 travel tournaments, saying he should definitely skip Miami. The last time he won Indian Wells 2013, and he promptly skipped Miami afterwards. I agree. I think play Indian Wells, skip Miami, and that'll be, if he can win Indian Wells, then definitely skip it.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I don't think he needs to play both. Well, it's not going to do him any favors. Indian Wells, that is the court surface that suits him the best. And obviously, we just seen Cam Norrie, last year's champion at Indian Wells. He's just beaten him straight sets in the final. So I just want to apologize. I did get Pete Sampras's Grand Slam record wrong earlier. I don't know. I had a few beers earlier, so forgive me. It's 14, not 17. I saw someone write in the live chat, but I didn't want to interrupt when you were talking. It is 14, not 17.
Looking at these two photos of Rafa, he's the youngest champion in 2005, 18 years old. Now the oldest champion in Acapulco, 35 years old. What's the big difference between an 18-year-old Rafa, Ben, and 35-year-old Rafa? You can see him there.
Better
What's the big
hair.
difference? I knew you was going to say that. What do you mean better? It's worse hair.
What do you mean worse hair? You would
His
love
hair was
that.
better before.
I can imagine, if you could pick any type of Rafa that you would like to be on the tennis. If I said to you,
it was a young Rafa.
If you could be one of the Rafas, you would be that young Rafa on the court.
I would be the 05 Rafa.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be 08 Rafa.
If you could put you onto the court with that with the sleeve, like the sleeveless tops and the long hair, the Bamoses. I think that you'll be in your element. I think that would be your
everyone
dream.
said, it's funny when I passed that question, everyone said his hair. Everyone was alluding to that. You've got Ollie, you've got May saying about the hair. You've got Liam gone for something different, saying better English, slightly.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
Unbelievable.
I guess that's accurate.
I'd say definitely he's got less of, well, I wouldn't say less wrinkle, but obviously he does have less wrinkles.
No, he
because
doesn't have wrinkles, Ben. Don't be stupid. But what he does have, he doesn't show his biceps so often.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say. He's like less skin on show, really. There, maybe
he's got a better serve. I like that from Ken. Definitely got a better serve now. I'm liking his second serve. And
what about
the hair's the big one? You're looking at it. The hair's changed a lot.
They cut it off a bit in that one, haven't they?
Yeah, it's probably not the best photo, but we've seen enough of him to judge.
Let's go. You can go a bit deeper if you really want. We'll go a bit closer if you want to have a little bit more in-depth analysis.
No, I think I'm done. Let's move on to the next one.
All right, no worries. Anyway,
so I thought this was some good thoughts. I didn't get to watch the match live, but you did, so I'll let you talk about it if you wasn't sleeping too much.
I know, mate. It was tough. It was very tough for me, that match. I was fighting off the Sandman, as they call him. He was trying to send me to sleep during the match. It got to about 5, 6 in the morning, and I was trying to get an energy drink to keep me going through it, but that wasn't even sufficing. And I just thought it didn't seem like one of those matches that he was that troubled, and that was my big worry for Cam Norrie in the whole final thing. I think Cam Norrie is great to a point, and he did manage to break Rafa. And I said that he'd break Rafa in the second set, and he did break Rafa in the second set. He just didn't have the extra gear to get him over the line. Never had the extra gear to just hold his serve after breaking, that type of thing. And he finally pulled out a whole game full of aces right at the end of the match. I was like, well, where was that the whole match? He just he was losing. He was about to lose, and he's suddenly like 4 aces in one game. I swear it was 4 aces. Anyway, it was 3 aces in one game. Pretty incredible. I've never seen Cam Norrie hit so many aces.
I mean, I'm seeing a bit of slander for Cam Norrie. Liam saying he's a complete fraud, easy final. I can strongly disagree. I understand the Cam Norrie of old, you can make a case for it. But right now, I was generally seriously worried about this match. And I was thinking I could wake up to Nadal losing. I did the same thing with the squinty eyes in the morning, refreshing the phone, trying to find out what happened. Rafa won. Jumped out of bed, had a lovely breakfast, and the breakfast tasted that little bit better. My eggs in the morning, just extra seasoned with that Rafa win. These 3 points here from Owen, I'm going to read each one out individually. I want to see what you had to say about it because you covered the match.
Yeah.
So Nadal's touch on the penultimate point was outrageous.
Yeah.
Was it that good?
Mate, some of his stuff, even the penultimate point, amazing. But throughout the match, I think he just had that extra, final. Like when you play in a final, he just had that extra level of just ability. And you just got to see it on certain points. You just saw oh, look, I'm going to play a drop shot now. And Norrie just was never expecting it. That type of thing. Rafa's drop shots are
experience as well. Experience is a big factor.
I think
number two, Ben, we've got Nadal should wear that kit for every tournament until the day he retires. Do you agree?
Well, until he loses, I heard someone say last night. Yeah, wear it until you lose.
That's my attitude. I think do not take that kit off until you lose a match.
Well, I'm sorry to say there's going to be a new kit for Indian Wells. So,
no, is that official?
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently there is new Rafa merch coming. Indian Wells, the Miami, the Sunshine double. There will be new Rafa kit on. So it's a big one for him for sure.
We've got Match Point Canada in backing up what I was saying. Saying love the live as always. Cheers, mate. Saying no Cam Norrie slander. Dude is very good player, challenging to play. He's been in great form 3 weeks now after a career year in 2021. I agree completely. I'm not going to accept any slander, and I've been someone who has slandered him in the past. Never too intensely, because in fact, out of the British players, he's one I've warmed to more than most. These last few years, he's seriously top player. He's just beating Tsitsipas.
Yeah.
And you've got to understand that I think Cam Norrie on his day, well within the top 10. He's generally that good.
Well, he would have been had he have won. Let me put this into perspective for you. If everybody's going to start throwing shade at Cam Norrie, Nadal beat Medvedev 6-3, 6-3 in the semi-final.
Oh, it's not going to be tennis maths, is it?
No, but
Can't be listening to this.
Well, no, this is the new world number one. He just beat 6-3, 6-3, and Cam Norrie in the final, he lost 6-4, 6-4. So he did better than the world number one.
on.
So I'm not going to say, I'm just putting it out there for people who want to criticize him because he did break. Well, he was the one who broke Rafael Nadal in this match. Medvedev, he didn't break Rafael Nadal once, I don't believe, in the whole match.
Yeah, and something you've not mentioned, Ben, is Rosal beat Nadal at Wimbledon. So I think Rosal's better than Medvedev.
Nah, mate, you're missing a trick here. You're missing a trick.
It's a big thing. I'm pulling your leg.
No, like to beat Rafael Nadal is that tough that Medvedev couldn't even break his serve. Cam Norrie managed to break Nadal's serve in this match, and he showed more fight than I think he showed the last time that they actually played. Yeah. And that was that. I think it's just about small gains for Cam Norrie. When you're playing those big players in the big finals, you're always going to have more nerves, and you're not going to be able to get it over the line. But it's about how you grow as a player, and I felt like he grew in yesterday's final. I was actually, I would be proud of that, even though it was still straight.
Right, we've got Gene here asking, how far can he go at Indian Wells, where he's defending champ? I think it's all about the draw for me.
Takes out.
I think after
Rafa.
Playing, listen, he's in a good vein of form. I think he needs a nice draw. Last year he was afforded not a bad draw. There was a lot of big seeds going out. He did have some big wins along the way. Ultimately, we've got a Bassasvili Cam Norrie final. I don't think we're going to see the same situation again. No. So it'll be tough, but. Even if he can get to a semi-final or even a quarter-final, I think that's a successful Indian Wells.
Yeah,
him.
definitely.
So, that's my attitude on that.
I'm happy.
The third point, Ben, let's get through these because I know we've got loads of different topics to talk about. I will not stop believing Nadal can achieve crazy things on a tennis court until the day he retires. This one's more for me. I had a little bit of doubt at the Australian Open. Never again. I'm saying it. I keep having to emphasize this, and all the Rafa fans and everyone else across the world should follow me. You can't doubt the guy. He now is performing at the very top of the game. He has been for many, many years, and he's not losing matches. So we've not even seen him on the clay yet, and he just shows from what he did with Medvedev. Down 2 sets, love 43-2, and he won the match. I'm always going to believe in him.
I don't think you should ever not believe in him. Like when you're one of these great players, and I think the same goes for Djokovic, same goes for Federer, those type of players you should always believe in. And I don't know, like there's something I was speaking to, obviously I've been having a little secret chat with John when you're not around, unfortunately, just because he's been pinging me a few things from the Rafa Academy. And he said,
when the cat's away, is it? When the cat's away, the mice will play.
He said
you
something
John,
very.
The mice is.
He said mouse. Something like very. I think it was very true, actually. That was in our little chat. He said, "I wouldn't say that you're now a converted Rafa fan, but I think that Rafa's stolen a piece of your heart." And I'm thinking, I totally agree with that. Like he definitely did in that final. I haven't seen somebody do what he did in that tournament because you got to put into perspective the way I viewed Rafa. Like, because I didn't view Rafa the same way as you all viewed Rafa. You all viewed Rafa as this, like, he's going to come back. He's going to be amazing. I view Rafa as this may be the end for Rafa because of his injury. And that's why it was so much more impactful for me.
With him.
Yeah, no, there was so much more impact. I thought he was literally, this could be one of his last years on tour, and I was like, that's why it hit me so hard. Like the fact that I thought, oh no, I've actually doubted him, and when we saw him in all that trouble, and then he came back, it was like, oh my word, it's like overwhelming, like how much respect I have for him now, like that type of thing. It was pretty crazy. Like it's all just about personal perspective of how you saw him originally from the back end of last year. And that's the reason that I've felt that way in that final.
Yes, here's a quote from Rafa saying, "There are many people in the world who are having a hard time. So why should I be angry or break a racket? I feel so lucky for all I've experienced. I've
Is
achieved
that a
much
shot at
more
Zverev?
than I ever dreamed of." It could be a sort of against a lot of players on tour, because I believe Cam Norrie broke a racket in that match. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
you are right. I've never seen. I said it at the time. I've never really seen Cam Norrie break a racket really
Well,
before.
listen, he doesn't. So from my memory, he's a very calm character on the court. We know he likes to serve fast. He's got a very modern style of play. Um, and it's not really in his character, but you've got to understand it's been a very challenging time for a lot of people. And him having a lot of his family, I think most of his family in New Zealand. I
Yeah,
don't know if you're aware of this, but he's not seen them for over 2 years now because of
yeah,
COVID. So there's a lot of factors that come into play with that. Him being isolated from his family for so long, I'm
yeah.
sure that does add to the sort of his emotions and the way he feels. But ultimately, I don't like the whole racket smashing. I know you at times don't mind it.
I'd say just on this point for the Cam Norrie racket smash, probably the cleanest racket smash I've ever seen, and it wasn't on the same level of anger that I've seen other ones. You know that we've seen Zverev, he was like bang on the umpires. We've seen Djokovic into the ground 10 times. Cam Norrie picks up the racket in his hand, one toss at the floor, just one throw, and the racket breaks. And that's it. There wasn't like a multiple smash. It was just picks it up and just goes, no, bang. It just smashed.
Look, Eddie here, just clarifying. Cam said it's only his second time breaking a racket.
But it was an impressive break because I don't think many players could break it on just one throw. And he didn't connect with the floor with his hand with the racket. He chucks the racket at the floor and it broke. So Cam Norrie, some serious mental strength and power, I feel, coming from him there. And controlled aggression, I'd call that, in racket smashing.
I don't know. Maybe if I was professional, I would smash a racket. There's been many times when I play tennis, I get frustrated and I feel my body threatening to do it. And then I look at my racket and think, I can't afford another racket. So I'm not going to smash this racket. So I can't see myself ever doing it. And even as a professional, there is something in part of me which I don't like the whole wastage side of it. I know it's a racket. I don't like the idea of you smashing something that someone's made for you to play with. It's very old school and a bit weird to some people, but that's just my attitude on it. But yeah, let's move on.
Well, I thought it was a bit weird that Zverev smashed up his racket against the umpire and then gave it to the crowd. Like, here you go. Here's a memento. That's probably worth a lot, that one. It's like, oh, here's the one I got banned for.
It was a bit strange, yeah.
It was very weird. And they were very happy to get it, obviously.
I mean, I'm not trying to venture saying I'm talking about getting out of the game altogether. I don't suggest that. It's never going to happen. You're always going to see it. I don't just make me that mad. I take it with a pinch of salt. Just not something I'm not a big fan of, and I don't think I would ever do it myself. So we've got here defeating Cam Norrie at Acapulco. Rafael Nadal collects his 30th title without dropping a set. Open era for him. So he is now leading for the most wins, most titles he's won without dropping a single set. And that's 30. So just overtaken Jimmy Connors at the top, that's 29. You've got Lendl, 28. McEnroe, 27. Djokovic, is it? No, not Djokovic. Federer's above Djokovic. I feel with that stat, you've got to remember, Djokovic, he always does drop a set here and there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's part of the appeal.
One. With Djokovic, I agree. Like he's likely to go down 2 sets and win a match. Or
I think that's
the difference between him and Nadal is often Nadal will go for just a vent, especially at Roland Garros from time to time, and just blitz everyone.
Yeah.
Without dropping a single set.
That's where Djokovic wins a lot of his fans, though. You got to remember that. Like, I think if Djokovic won as many in straight sets, I don't know if he'd be as popular, maybe, as someone like Rafa. I think the fact that Djokovic does it from such compromised positions so many times.
A good point. Yeah, I really agree with what you're saying there.
It's the style of play.
Yeah.
It's a defensive style of. Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, because he's defensive up until the point when he needs to become offensive, and then suddenly you see, oh look, now the gas tank takes over, and it's almost seeing like a fighter in the ring who He's conditioned himself. He's been knocked down for the first two
He's
rounds.
another one, really. A bit like Rafa. If he's down in a match, you never really write him off either. You just can't.
He's
At
like
any stage.
I'll put this comparison. He's like a Tyson Fury. You got Deontay Wilder on the other side, and you got Novak Djokovic like your Tyson Fury. He can go for 12 rounds. So he doesn't worry about getting knocked down once or twice in the fight because he knows he's going to go all the way, the distance every time. So
I like that.
Is there any more down the list? Should I go down a bit more? Oh,
Have a little look.
There's a big drop there. Cool. It goes down 7. I didn't realize it went down like I thought we were going down like 1 at a time or maybe 3 at a time.
Yeah, Andy Murray not quite making it on this list.
Oh,
he's always someone who drops a few sets here and there as well.
Yeah, well, that's just
Andy. And Vanchi is saying Novak loves giving the crowd hope.
Well, I think he does
do that as well.
He should have.
I think not just the crowd. He likes to give the opponent hope as well. He likes giving them a set to make them believe that they can actually win the match. And then give them a few break points as well. And then when he does them aces, it just completely demoralizes them. And then he just blitzes it from there. And it just is special. I do enjoy watching Djokovic. He's a master at work at times.
It's almost like similar to when I've seen like certain people in UFC and they say, and when they say about their opponent, they say, oh, I don't want to knock him out. I want to take him the full 5 rounds and I want to beat the brakes off him over the full distance and see how he finishes at the end of the match.
Take him to deep water.
Yeah. I want to come out at the end of the 5th round or the 5th set, let's say, and I want to be the one who's standing there still fresh saying I can go another 5 when watching them on their knees going, no more, please, I can't do any more. Anyway, on to next.
So away from all of this now, we're now moving on to some other news and some other events. So we've spoke about Acapulco. We spoke about Rafael Nadal. We've done 36 minutes on him. It's not bad going.
It's not enough, is it, JJ?
It's not enough. We could do another 36 if you want. Make sure to give us a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new. But let's talk about some other events. So Dubai, happening on the women's this year. It was a Masters 1000 WTA. I'm not sure. Do they call them premiers? No, not. Sorry, apologies. Not Dubai. Doha.
Yep.
So the Qatar Open, and with this one, we had the final I predicted.
You did it, mate.
Final I predicted. I believe we had Joanna Sarr talking about congratulations, JG, on your perfect prediction of WTA Doha finalist and the winner. By the way. Adding that one in there. So I think on the previous podcast we were speaking about, and I said Kontaveit, but luckily when I was doing the bracket, I did pick Iga. And I mean, I'm shocked. She demolished her. She absolutely demolished Kontaveit in the final.
We both went for Kontaveit, didn't we? And then I looked the next day, I was like, no way. A bagel. I think she only won 2 games, Kontaveit.
Yeah.
In the final.
6-love, 6-2.
That's mad. Wow.
Obliterated her.
I'm actually like quite happy in a way, even though I was saying Kontaveit. The more Iga can get like those type of results, I'm super stoked for her because I know that she can do it. She can be like the best on hard and clay. I think, and grass. She's obviously didn't she do well at Junior Wimbledon as well?
She did, but she's not been great in more recent years.
I think she
struggling to Heather Watson last year.
I think she can.
I forget which one it was. It was one of the ones pre-Wimbledon. But she did come back and win that match in the end. But I remember watching it on the TV and it was a bit shaky. She's going to definitely progress like she has on the other surfaces. There was a comment here from Jean saying, very happy for Iga. Annette making top 5 debut on Monday. So, yeah, that's a great thing for her. And I liked particularly that Iga, of course, she is from Poland. She was, don't know if you're going to go up, mate.
Sorry.
She was talking about, obviously, all the news. You can't really avoid it. What's happening in Ukraine with the war from Russia. We don't want to talk too much about the politics, but it is extremely sad. And we do have a platform to talk about it. Of course, we do stand with Ukraine on this podcast. And we're supporting the country through this very, very tough time they're enduring. Hopefully, we can get out of it. And, yeah. No war. We do not want a war. We want to spread peace. Like I feel like 99%, if not more, of the world would like to see as well. But unfortunately, we have some crazy people in control who just don't want to have peace and they want to have these wars. We've got Iga here saying, if sport can connect us even if a bit today and give us a tiny bit of joy in these tough moments, I'm grateful for that. And obviously, I think sport is such a valuable tool in a situation like this, which is a global crisis, to try and bring people together. I know football's doing their bit, tennis are doing their bit as well. And I take my hats off to these tennis players who are using their platform and trying to spread a bit of joy as well. And I certainly got a lot of joy from Iga winning. I'm a big fan of her. And Poland as well are doing a great job helping so many refugees into the country at the moment from Ukraine. And I think she's a credit to the country.
Definitely is. I feel bad. I saw some posts from Yastremska. They managed to get out of the Ukraine, and her sister, I believe it was, that type of thing. And it just makes me, it's making me very sad at the moment, this whole scenario. And the one thing that I don't know if I should even like say about it, like I just think that obviously, like Russia's had like this whole thing about wanting to be the greatest in all the sports and that type of thing. Obviously, I'm not attributing this to the Russian sports stars who actually do the sports. Like they're not responsible for anything. But there was the whole Olympic thing with the Russian doping thing, and then we've had like obviously the people at the top want Russia to win everything, and I just feel like I don't really understand like the end goal in this whole thing is if you really want to be good, like obviously this is about political stuff. This isn't about sport, but there's such a big thing, sport in Russia, that they want to be the best at all sports. But I feel like by doing what you're doing, like if you achieve your goal, there won't be any more sports. And I just think that you won't even be able to say I'm best of this sport because there'll only be one. Like, and then it's just I don't understand it. Like it for me, I'm just I don't know. There's just like this horrible feeling inside all the time at the moment, and I can't get rid of it, and I can't understand any of it. I can only try. I'm trying to try and convey like some sort of understanding.
I think that's just certain instances you're referring to there. On the whole, my attitude is I feel very bad for Russian players in general. Of course, we've got so many tennis players, and they're sort of getting tarnished with a bad brush. Nothing to do with them. It's not their choice. And I feel like some of them are doing some great stuff as well. So next one.
Yeah, I totally agree. And obviously,
so we've got Andrei Rublev here. This is the last event we've not spoke about. He did win Dubai. Big win.
Another Russian.
Another ATP 500. And he's saying now it's not about tennis. It's not about sport. It's about having peace all over the world. We need to support each other. He also wrote on the camera about no war. He's standing up for it. And it was pretty emotional seeing him, if I'm honest. And there's a lot of Russians in the country at the moment who do not want this situation. And I stand with all of them as well, if I'm honest. That's just my attitude to it. And it was a great win because he beat Yuri Vesely, who's in incredible form. He said some really nice things about Vesely after the match. So Vesely, as we know, beat Djokovic, Agut, Cilic, Shapovalov, and Rublev was saying, if you've just beaten them four guys, he went for all of them. He was like, Djokovic, I can't beat him. Agut usually have about a 3.5 hour match with him. Cilic, I lost to a few weeks ago. And Shapo's obviously a tough match as well. If you're able to beat all of them players, no wonder you're going to lose to me because you must be absolutely exhausted. And he was just saying that as from his own experience of playing them players. Yuri Vesely has had a fantastic event, but really he was a bit out of depth in the final because he's just probably had to work so hard to get there. He didn't have anything else left to give. And Rublev was able to sort of, he had not a tough route to get in there.
No, it wasn't,
and just cleaned up in the final.
It was nowhere near as tough, was it? Like Evans, Kwon, McDonald, Hurkacz.
Yeah.
Like you compare that to Agut, Cilic, Poprin, Djokovic, Shapovalov. It's like not really the same, is it? I'm totally in support. I love Andrei Rublev. I think he's somebody who's great for the sport. I just hope that he's able to gain all of the attributes it is to take him to the next level. We know that he's in that top 10. Just needs a few extra touches. That's it. We know how good he is on the hard courts. We know that he struggles against some of the elite. Just needs a small little touch. Like maybe just like
I mean, I like the guy as a person. As a tennis player, I'm a bit dubious. I think a bit one-dimensional. I've not been impressed.
That's what I mean.
2022. I think he won this event not playing very good opposition. Hurkacz is tough, but yet again, he's going to get found out in other events. He needs to improve drastically. We've got 12 travel 21 saying, didn't Vesely have to go through qualies? Yes, he did. Makes it even more of a credit to him what he's able to achieve.
Yeah, and you got to remember this is now a second year running. Obviously, Karatsev was the reigning champ there. Yeah. So, and now we've got another Russian.
Moving away from Russia and Russian tennis, back to GB tennis now. And we have someone who is flying. It's not Emma Raducanu. This is a very positive story of British tennis right now. And it's Jack Draper on a hot streak, 10-0, 2 challenges back-to-back. Amazing. And today, he rallied back from 5-1 down in the tie-break in the final against Richard, who's a really good tennis player.
Very good.
And won it 8-6, the tie-break. So it was 5-1 down and won it 8-6, showing his resilience. Won 2 challenges in Italy back-to-back, playing so well. He's now cracked the top 150, I believe. And he's approaching that top 100. And in terms of British tennis, I am really pumped with this guy. We got to see him in action at Wimbledon against Djokovic. He took a set. I think the future's bright. It really is. And he's someone I'm going to get behind massively. Unfortunately, we've not covered enough of the challenges recently, and that's going to change very soon. And we have an idea which we're going to present to you in a minute. But what's your take on Jack Draper?
I'm super excited. I know that we've been trying to sort of insert the narrative, let's say, over a few podcasts in the past few weeks, because Jack Draper has been playing well. He's been someone we've been wanting to get behind. Most of all, me as well. I'm all for GB players, and I'm all for getting behind the British talent. And for him to have now, that's his 3rd challenger title, and it was tough, this one. Played tough players. Played Jesper de Jong, we've had on the podcast. He played Van Rijthoven. He played Watanuki. Played Michael Moe, Mursad Basic. And then in the final with Richard, people might say, oh, who's Richard? Like, what's he done? He's actually had a really good tournament as well.
He's good,
He knocked out Marchenko in straight sets in this one. That was actually the one. Remember when I showed you that ball kid, the small baby one was on the court? That was beating Elias in that match. And then he beat Van Rijthoven in straight sets, and Nuno Borges, probably one of the biggest upcoming.
He's not been beating nobody's, for sure. It's a really tough circuit, the Challenger Tour. And Jack Draper, for me, already showing what he's doing. 20 years old. I think he's honestly ready for sort of ATP tennis. He's that good, and I can't wait to see him there.
Very close.
For me now, the next step is the physique, sort of building on that and sort of endurance in a longer match. He's got all the shots. He's got all the ability. Just a little bit. He needs to get some experience. Give him some time. I'd love to see him on the tour early, though. I think get him on the tour. I don't mind if he loses loads of first round. Just give him some experience against some of these other players, some of the more experienced players on tour. And I think that would be really good. It's not going to be like a Raducanu story, this one, where he's going to go from a qualifying position and go win a Grand Slam. But let's hope he can just sort of have some runs. I think it's a bit more of a sustainable model.
Like Murray wasn't like that, though. Murray was more like he was a grower. He just suddenly
it's
came
more
up.
Sustainable, and I'm really excited by the future for Jack Draper. So let's
earn your stripes. Earn your stripes. Like that's what a lot of people will say on the top. I mean, I can't take anything away from Raducanu. Like everybody would take that if they could, but most people have to do everything the hard way, and this is what Jack Draper's doing. I think we've been following him for quite a long time now, and when he was 18, sort of the jury was still a little bit out on him. Like we thought he was a big guy. He's about 6'4", 6'5". He's got a good serve, but the rest of the game wasn't really there. So it looks like it's getting there. He saved 4 match points today.
Yep.
And that doesn't, you can't take that lightly. So well done to him. And even who knows? Maybe one day we'll get him on the pod and we can speak about it. We've spoken to some of his opponents in the past. We spoke to Rybakov, and he said he's a really, really decent player, but that was about 2 years ago now. Probably even better now.
Yeah, and let's talk about challengers. We need to do it more often.
Yes.
So we've got a new idea. Over to you, Ben.
Yes, and here we go. So we've got a new thing like this. Well, I say a new thing, but it's sort of like not new, for myself and JG, but it's something we want to bring you guys in on, which is a competition which is run, I'd say, over a course of a week. It's 5 days, Monday to Friday. And this sort of helps you keep your eye on the ball when it comes to all tennis across the board. But especially for us, this is how we sort of kept our eye on the board on Challenger tours, ITF tours, and you sort of investigate and like you become like a little bit of a detective, and it helps you keep your eye on some of the good informed players and find some hidden gems in some of these smaller tournaments, because there are some amazing talents out there, but you might not know about them yet. And this one, we called it Beat the Odds, because most of these picks that you have to pick on this thing. So I'll take you through how it works. So on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, each day you pick 2 picks on the day, and they have to be on, let's say, on the bookies odds 1.5 or above. So you pick those, and then you can have to go through every
200 for Americans listening.
Exactly. So you go through the whole of the list, and this is up to you. You have to go through, you have to search through all of these things, and you can use, we normally would go through and we'd look on something like Flash Scores, which is a very good website. You can look up all of the form and stuff on players, but you can use other things like the tennis app and things like that. Go through and you look up all of their form, find somebody who has above 1.5 odds, and then you find 2 of those for each day, and then you log them into we've got a form that we'll send out to people who would want to be a part of this. And it's quite a fun thing to be a part of, to be honest. You do that every single day, and then the person with the most picks can win the thing. We used to play this one when we were at work, didn't we, mate?
Yeah, so we're going to do it regardless. If people want to join, feel free to. We'll send a form round just to register interest. And just send us an email or drop us a message on Discord if it's something you're interested in taking part on. If not, me and Ben are going to do it regardless. We'll bring you a podcast every Sunday. Or was it Saturday we're going to do?
Yeah,
I think Saturday. I think every Saturday we'll bring you a podcast talking about our previous week and our picks and who won out of me and Ben.
That's it.
So that's what we're going to be doing every Saturday. So if you don't understand how it works or anything, just wait for next Saturday, and it might make it a bit clearer when you see how me and Ben performed in the week leading up to it. But if you want to get involved, the deadline is you've got 4 hours to get involved, or 3.5 hours to get involved for this week. If not, don't worry, wait for next week. Or if you don't want to do it, just laugh at us for our picks.
What we should do, I think, for this first week, like when we get to Saturday next week, maybe we can try and document how we've made our selections as well, because that might make everybody aware of why we made the picks we made, the research we did on each one.
Well, that's what we're doing in the Saturday one, Ben. So we'll be explaining them all.
Perfect.
So we're going to go through each one and talk about why we got to them. So just save it. We'll save it for that. This is just a little bit of text. You can pause the video and read this if you want to make sense. But that's the rules, how to play. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks for joining us, guys. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. We're going to be bringing you a few draw previews tonight. 2 on the women's side. We've got Monterrey and Lyon. I believe Leylah Fernandez is back. Some other great players as well.
Ooh.
So make sure to join us for them draw previews. So we're going through the whole draw, picking our winners, picking our dark horses. You can join that on the tennis app, TNNS, on Android or Apple. But for now, Rafa wins another one. I'm over the moon. See you later.
Rafa. See you later.
Cheers, guys.